皆さん、こんばんは。パルシックの西森と申します。これからジャフナのアジットさんとつなぐ前に、私の方から簡単に、パルシックがスリランカ北部で実施してきた事業について、地図を見ていただきながらご説明します。今、スリランカ北部の事業をご覧いただけているかと思います。私たちの方のジャフナ県とムラティブ県で事業を実施してきました。まず最初に2004年にジャフナの中心地のジャフナタウンで事務所を開きまして、その後、漁村の支援を実施してきました。2006年から2009年の間は内戦が再燃した期間だったんですけれども、その間もアジットさんをはじめとしたタミール人スタッフが現地で漁村の支援を続けてきました。そして2009年の5月には、北部の人たちにとっては、とても辛い形で内戦が終わったんですけれども、その後、パルシックの方では緊急救援、また内政復興事業として、国内避難民キャンプからそれぞれの村に戻った人たちが漁業を再開できるように漁具を配布したり、また漁村に必要な施設を建てたりする漁村の復興事業を行ってきました。それらの事業と並行して、私たち沿岸部の漁村に暮らす女性たちが収入を得られるように女性の生計支援事業を実施してきました。その中の一つで、私たちがスリランカ北部で実施した最後の事業になったのがサリーリサイクル事業になります。サリーリサイクル事業は、就労機会が限られる漁村に暮らす女性たちに縫製研修を実施して、女性たちが縫製によって衣類ですとか様々なものを作れるようになった後に、スリランカの南部ですとか様々な地域に暮らす人たちから寄贈を受けた古着サリーを使って、エコバッグですとか、アクセサリー類をリメイクして販売して収入を得るという事業になります。その事業に参加してた、女性たちが暮らす村というのがこのピンクで丸をつけたところなんですけれども、その事業、最後に加わったのが、サリーリサイクル事業に最後に加わったのがこちらのタンニムリップ村になります。私たちは、長く漁村で活動を続けてきたんですけれども、主にこの海岸線に沿った沿岸部の漁村で活動してきまして、内陸部の淡水漁業を行う地域と出会ったのが非常に遅くなりまして、タニムリップ村の女性たちに研修を実施できたのは、本当に事業の終了間際の限られた時間になりました。で、ちょっと私たちの方も気になっていて、翌年にこの村を訪れた時に女性たちから追加の研修をもう一度してほしいという強い要望を受けまして、ゆうちょ財団さんの助成をいただいて、2020年のコロナ禍に追加の研修を実施することができました。女性たちが望むものを作ることができるようになって非常に有意義な研修でした。この部分、アジットさんの方からももう一度詳しくお話しさせていただきます。はい。では、ここからジャフナのアジットさんとつないで話を聞きたいと思います。最初にアジットさんの自己紹介と現地の状況の概況を聞きます。Hi, Ajith-san. Thank you very much for your time today.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, Nishimori-san. Thank you.
はい。で、これから、アジットさんの方で、ジャフナの状況、まず、全般について、話をしますが、彼自身、ジャフナタウンに暮らしていて、仕事もしていて、こういった街を通ると、ガソリンスタンドにスリーウィーラーや商業者が行列を作っているところを見てますし、また夜に、彼も仕事を終えた後にガソリンスタンドに行くと、こういった何十人も前に並んでいる状況で並んで、自分の番が来た時にはもう、売り切れだったと、もう燃料がなくなってしまったというようなことも経験しているという状況です。じゃあ、まず彼に今の状況と話してもらおうと思います。
So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very much pleasure to be in this conversation.I'm Ajith from Jaffna, Sri Lanka, former representative of Park Inter People's Corporation of Jaffna and Mullaitivu from northern part of Sri Lanka. And I am here today to share with you of our miserable life and sorrows and how the people are struggling to lead their daily life because of the economic crisis in our country. First of all, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude for giving me your ears to listen our hardships with your generous heart. And thank you for allocating your valuable time for this event too. Sri Lanka has been facing one of its worst economic crises in recent years, with shocking inflation, weak government financial activities, mishandling of the economy, mismanagement of the country, and COVID pandemic put us catastrophic economy. This is by far the most shocking crisis Sri Lanka has faced since its independence in 1948. Food prices are skyrocketing day to day as they are becoming shortage daily. And essential services like water, electricity, medical care, transport, and newspapers have been hit. The ordinary people who are suffering with the crisis are unable to afford it to buy them. People who are below the poverty line, such as daily wage earners, single mothers, children, and low and middle class families, including farmers and fishermen, are worst affected. For them, affording food and medical care has become impossible. Parents are worried and embarrassed, cutting out all non-essential activities and expenditures. While children may not understand the economics, they very much react to anxiety and fear at the change in their family behavior and activities. Many children are unable to get to school as there is often no fuel available. Bus fares have also increased considerably. As a result of power cut, children are unable to study at home without electricity or signals for phones or internet. Most of the rural school principals have been complaining students come to school without having their 1 or 2 time meals. As a result of this, they are unable to concentrate their education, and some students are falling down with giddiness.
この深刻な経済危機が漁村、特にスリランカ北部の漁村の人々の暮らしにどのような影響を与えているのかという点について話してもらいますが、少し皆さん漁村について想像してもらえるように写真を何枚かお見せします。これスリランカの北部の沿岸部の漁村の写真なんですけれども、こうした船外機のついたボートが多数並べられていてですね、いつでもこれで漁に出られるようにしているんですけれども、この船外機というのがケロシンを使ったエンジンになっていますので、今燃料不足の状況でそのケロシンが買えない状況でどういったことが起きているのかというようなことがアジットさんの話で出てきます。で、そういった中でもともとこういった伝統的な漁船カトマラムといいますが、こういったものも以前も一部には使われてたんですけれども、今そういったものを使わないと漁に出れない状況にもなっているというところが話に出てきますので、お願いしアジットさんの話を聞きたいと思います。Ajith, can you please? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nijmar-san. So when we are considering the life of village people in North, due to the shortage of fuel and electricity, all the sectors have been facing very much difficulties. Especially fishing folks in North full and fully depend only on the sea. As they do not get any fuel supply for more than a month in Jaffna and Mullaitivu, they are unable to go for fishing. Then their families in villages are anxious, as they do not have a way of managing their budgets. Before the crisis, these fishermen earned rupees 40,000 to 50,000 or more averagely in a month. But now they say they have nothing in their hand, no earning and no savings, facing very much of hardship to lead their daily life. There were several boats go to sea, but this fuel crisis, only below 10 number of boats are able to see in the sea. And now very limited number of fishermen have started to use the traditional craft, what you have shown in the picture, like catamaran, for fishing in a very limited distance at the lagoon sea. A fisheries industry plays an important role in Sri Lankan economy, and many communities depend on it. Fishing boats need anywhere from 20 to 50 liters fuel a day. Since the crisis hit, fishermen have to wait for hours and hours every day for fuel at the fuel station to getting kerosene. This is the situation at the fuel shop across the country. And now there are no fishmongers along the road because of the lack of fuel. They do not go to collect the fishing village itself. Fish are also very expensive now. Several months ago, it was rupees 400 to 600 a kilo of fish, but now it went up rupees 2,000 to 2,500 per kilo. This price is very hard to buy the consumers, and of course, it's hard to sell them by the fishermen too. Also, due to the lengthy power cut means fishermen are unable to get enough ice to keep their catch fresh, and lack of fuel also means they cannot transport their catch on time to the markets or anywhere in the country. And it is very hard to say, in North, many of the fishing villages, the fishing families are able to afford mostly 1 or 2 times simple meals, like a rice and sambar, or rice and dal curry, or rice and onion with chili. The situation is happening not only for the fishing communities, but also for all the sectors and communities in Sri Lanka.
Thank you for sharing the detailed information. で、次にアジトさんには先ほどちょっとお話ししましたタニムリップ村の人々、タニムリップ村というのが特にこの経済危機で影響を受けているということで、そのタニムリップ村の状況と人々の暮らしについて話をしてもらいます。タニムリップ村、ムラティブタウンから距離内陸に入っていくところなんですけれども、その距離が離れているというだけじゃなくて、道自体がですね舗装されていなくって、雨季になると凸凹になったり通れなくなったりというような面でも大変移動しにくい場所になっています。さらに内陸の村ですので漁村といってもこういった緑の多いようなところに家が建っています。で、これが女性たちが研修を受けている時の様子なんですけれども、この村の就業機会が本当に非常に限られていますので、こういった法制研修、就業機会だけじゃなくて研修の機会も限られていて、法制研修をするといったら、本当に20人以上の女性たちが熱意を持って参加をしました。で、特に自分たちの子供たちのためにも制服だったり、カバンだったりも作れるようになりたいということで、彼女たちの希望を受けて制服作りの研修をしている時の様子です。子供の採寸をしているところです。で、この村の主要な産業は淡水漁業になりまして、こういったタンク池ですね、の漁業をしています。他にですね、女性たち、特に女性たちの仕事になりますがやってる仕事としては、日雇い労働としてですね、ピーナッツ、村ティブ県がピーナッツの主要な産地なんですけれども、そのピーナッツの収穫期には、日雇いの仕事として、収穫に参加しているところになります。
So, regarding Thanimuripu village is located in Mullaitivu district in northern part of Sri Lanka, and it is 35 kilometers away from Mullaitivu town. It is a very rural and isolated village with no enough facilities. Currently, Grama Niladhari, the person who works locally as a government administrative body, has confirmed that there are 120 families live in this village, and their main occupation is daily wagers. This village was one of our past recycled sari project sites, where many ladies were got sewing trainings, and last year, with the fund aid of UCHO, we have given training to make income to nearly 20 ladies. In the training, based on their requirements, we taught them how to stitch gowns, school uniforms for boys and girls, salwars, and other fancy sari blouses, which are more income generating options for them at the time. And also, this training helped to fulfill their own stitching needs too. After the training, they had earned at least rupees 15,000 to 20,000 per month. But after this economic crisis arose, they are unable to buy raw materials such as clothes, threads, and other necessary items for stitching. Ladies said, really, at present in the village, no one has any income or money or any support to manage their daily requirements. In this case, how they can pay wages or how they can get wages for stitching from others. Some people in the village go for inland fishing activities seasonally, like 6 months go for fishing labor and 6 months going as a farming laborer for peanuts and paddy lands. The pond which you have seen where they do not do fishing not only belongs to this community, but also common to several neighboring villages too. It will limit them in catching and earning because there is no enough fish in season in the pond unless releasing fingerlings by the fisheries authority in the seasons. But presently, that also stopped because of the lack of fuel. So all the way, both males and females are struggling to generate their income to feed their children. According to the people in village, there were 4 bus services daily from the town. But now, due to the lack of fuel, there is no any single bus service to their village since last April 2022. So people are facing difficulties to go to the town to find their needs or hunting their jobs or to do their daily activities. However, if they go out of the village by some other mode of transport, there is no way to return home as no any other source of transport facilities to come back to their village. As this village fully depends on the public transport, even those who have their own vehicles cannot operate because of the shortage of gasoline. Further, they said at least they need 2 liters of petrol for up and down ways to go to town, but petrol shed pumped or pumps only for rupees 1,000. For this 1,000, only 2 liter petrol can buy at the current price of gasoline. To get the fuel, they have to wait more than 9 hours or more in the long queues. If they are lucky that day, they can get. Otherwise, they have to return with empty hands. So those who go for hunting gasoline stay in front of the petrol shed until they get the chance to fill. So people worry if there are any emergency or any serious issues in this village, no way to go to hospitals. And when they call to the ambulance service, they neglect or reject to come and telling that this village is far away and they don't have enough fuel to come. Earlier, there were 5 grocery shops at the village, but now only 1 shop is operating. And as a price hike of each food commodities all over the country, here the price of the things is 3 or 4 times fold than the actual price selling in Mullaitivu town. So when there were 4 shops at the village, they could buy the things comparatively cheaper, as there is a competition between them, and also they could buy in credit basis. Now, not like that. If they have money only, they can buy. In this situation, this village has been very seriously affecting. Lack of income had resulted in them skipping meals, and that precious jewelry had to be pawned to make ends meet. Some families are only cooking 1 meal a day. So this is the dire situation which will affect the nutrition of the next generation. Already the people were heavily affected during the 2.5 decades long war. And now it is going to affect another generation as well as in terms of education, nutrition, and social life. I fervently hope you all are able to imagine or understand this situation for the village, how they have been suffering to lead their daily life with their children. And this is only the sample village where we are known well, as we had worked there. But there are so many villages like this without our knowledge has been leading their miserable and hardship life every day.
So then, at the end, although it must be a difficult question, can you tell us your view about the future, the prospect for future, please?
Yeah, Nishima-san, it's a hard question anyhow. So the reality is, reports and news say, recently there are several women-headed families have been committing suicide with their children as they were unable to feed their children or feeling their inability to provide the basic needs such as food, education, and medicine due to the price hike of all commodities. And also report says due to the prevailing situation, many of the populations are jobless or not getting enough salary to meet their daily budgets or no means of livelihood. So what they are doing, they have started robberies, chain snatching. Nowadays, we could understand not only specialized doctors have been migrating to Europe, Canada, or Australian countries, but also many pioneers in all the various sectors to escape from the crisis and lack of medicine. It is going to cause the severe issue in coming future. Honestly speaking, no one knows or no one can predict what will happen in future, and it does not seem to be getting any better for several years.